Det litt pussig å se at hinduer, de rister på hodet over såkalt kristen yoga. De syns at det ikke går an å blande yoga, eller å si at yoga kristent. De sier at det ikke går an å praktisere yoga uten å være en hindu, eller uten at man samtidig praktiserer hinduisme. Det skriver en mann om her, som hindu. En hindus syn på kristen yoga. Han snakker om at yoga metafysikk, og det sentrerer rundt at et menneske skal befries fra sin tilstand som han har fått gjennom karma. Karma inkluderer bagasjen fra tidligere liv. Og det dreier seg om reinkarnasjon. Han beskriver her i detalj hvorfor det ikke går an å si at yoga en kristen praksis. For det handler i det store hele om å oppnå befrielse fra karma, altså denne sirkulasjonen av reinkarnasjon. Jeg tenkte jeg skulle vise noen flere. Altså her også en. Her hinduer som sier at det går ikke an å si at yoga en kristen praksis. Og her hindugrupper. De indignert, mildt sagt, over at folk praktiserer yoga og kaller det for kristent. Og skiller det fra hinduismen. Fordi yoga hinduisme. Og her skal du få høre, den her var ganske beskrivende. Her skal du få høre hva hinduer sier.
Yoga is really a spiritual discipline. That's a true definition of yoga.
Yoga is part and parcel of being Hindu. Yoga is a way of life for me. The Gita is actually a Hindu text that when you enter a yoga class and you say namaste, that is a Hindu greeting.
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu.
Yoga really originated from a Sanskrit word yuj, which means union, and to join, to unite. And unite is between individual being or the soul with Paramatman, which is the cosmic being.
If you look into some of the yoga scriptures, say Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, for example, yoga is actually 8 limbs, and asana, or the physical practice that we see so much of here in the West, is just one part of it. There are so many other aspects of yoga, concepts like yamas and niyamas. For example, those are concepts of how we should live our lives. So the concept of ahimsa, for example, or nonviolence. The idea of truthfulness, or the idea of not stealing or not wanting something that is not your own.
Hatha yoga is a form of yoga, essentially concentrating on the physical exercises. This is what it is, where most of these places. Now, what I have failed to understand, and I have talked to many of people who do go for these centers, is if it is all physical exercises, why do you need to call it yoga? You can just as well call it as a gym.
Stretch straight up and bend your body forward.
When people just throw out the word, I do yoga, you're really not sure exactly what they're actually doing. I think in America, mostly what people are referring to is Hatha yoga, which is the actual using your body as the physical aspect of yoga. I really find that our students, when they start practicing here, and they really start to feel good and comfortable in their body, and they start to feel more relaxed, and they learn how to meditate more through their physical yoga practice, they naturally want to pursue a more spiritual type of lifestyle. So it might encourage them to start reading about the other aspects of yoga that we might not cover in this particular yoga class.
It helps me because of the community. So I think, you know, at church there's a community of people. Here there's a community of people. So if that's spiritual, then yeah, it helps me.
As an instructor, we don't preach anything in particular in terms of religion and spirituality. But you practice this yoga, and there's no way that you will not feel something beyond a physical plane.
Sweeping arms up, exhaling, diving down.
Although Hinduism and yoga grew out at the same time of the Indian subcontinent, and there are references to yoga in the Upanishads and in the Bhagavad Gita, that doesn't mean that Hinduism has the exclusive hold on yoga. Sort of like Jews don't have the exclusive hold on prayer.
Exhaling, hands come to our heart center.
One thing cannot be denied, that yoga originated from Hinduism and doesn't belong to Hinduism alone, but it belongs to the globe.
People are now starting to put yoga and Hindu in the same sentence, in the same paragraph, and they may not be agreeing with HAF's stance, but they are thinking about it, they're talking about it.
Ja, det var ganske interessant å høre hva hun eldre dama sa. Hun sa at hvorfor må de absolutt kalle det for yoga, hvis de bare skal drive med trening og strekking og tøying? Hvorfor kaller de det ikke bare for gym, sa hun der dama da, som var en hindu. Og det er mange hinduer som sier at det er feil og nekte yogaens hinduistiske røtter. Og det går ikke an, fordi yoga er hinduisme. Og her skal du få høre en guru, en veldig kjent guru, som sier rett ut at yoga er hinduisme. Jeg må bare komme forbi reklamen her.
Mainly this book, I just wanted to say a few words about this book. This book is the compilation of all the direct words of Sadashiva as Shastra Pramana from Vedas and Agamas, wherever Sadashiva describes about yoga. Asanas means bending the body, stretching the body, aligning the body's geometry to the cosmic geometry. Asanas, mudras, bandhas, kriyas, pranayamas, and the cleansing techniques, detoxification techniques. Whatever Sadashiva describes in Veda and Agama, we have started collecting. Of course, we have not yet published everything collected. Everything we collected will come at least 100 volumes. So the first volume is released today with English translation. We have 200 people sitting and doing the translation from the original Sanskrit into English. And of course, we do have other language translations happening simultaneously. So this is the first book. The purpose of this book is one statement: yoga has religion, that is Hinduism. I wanted to make it very clear. We are very happy to share this whole knowledge to the whole world. We are very happy to give these fruits. But very unfortunately, the appropriation and misappropriation of the yoga is happening all over the world. Not only some of the Western yoga gurus, even Indian yoga gurus have started telling, yoga has nothing to do with Hinduism or India. I am shocked. This book is a strong response to those claims. Yoga has religion, that is Hinduism. Whether you accept or not, terrorism as religion, everyone knows. Same way, yoga has religion, that is Hinduism. And this whole book is a hard work of a team working with me, supporting me in collecting, compiling. Last 10 years we are doing a research work wherever yoga related manuals, manuscripts, whether it is from Vedas or Agamas or various sampradayas of Shaivism, Lagulisha Shaivism, Pashupata Shaivism, Kashmira Shaivism, Siddhanta Shaivism, Veera Shaivism, the 11 living branches of Shaivism and the Vaishnavite traditions, wherever the yoga related literatures are available, manuals are available, we are sending our sannyasis. With the consent of the owner, we are scanning and getting a copy release agreement signed with them. For some people giving compensation, for some people freely. They do not want compensation. They just said, Swamiji, if you promote it, that's enough. Like this, we have collected 3 terabyte material. And all the 3 terabyte material is getting uploaded in the internet for people to do free research. Anybody wants anything about yoga, you can do research, you can study, it is available. Almost 20% of the 3 terabyte material we have translated into English, and the remaining we are translating. I am hoping it may take next 10 years to complete the whole project. But I feel when I leave the body, when I die, these Shastras will not die. All I just wanted only one thing. Whatever Shastras are alive today should not die when I die. Let me store it for the future, for the posterity. Of course, I don't want to claim we have collected everything. No. Whatever is available, whatever we are able to reach out, we have collected, and we are still continuing from this large repository. Books are coming out. Some of our devotees, amazing economical contribution from them. Of course, never they expect me to mention their name. I just wanted to put it on record. Few devotees who are working day and night, either by giving their money, studio practicing yoga, or the group practicing yoga. Do you want the original source book of yoga from the founder of yoga, Sadashiva? Please understand, Patanjali revived yoga, but Sadashiva is the founder. Agamas are the founders. Agamas are the earliest record of yoga literatures available. So, if you want the compilation of everything available about yoga from the Vedas and Agamas, this book is free for you. Already the e-copy is uploaded in the internet. You can download. If you send an email, you will get a hard copy wherever you are from. Anywhere in the world, we will ship it free. It's for you. And you can download the link of this book. If you go to the website called innerawakening.org, Nityananda Yoga. And if you want all the 3 terabyte material we have collected till now, we have a website called Hinduism now. Go to that website, you can download all 3 terabyte material. All the Agamas and yogic literatures, we have classified Shastra Pramana, Apta Pramanas, and we have clearly classified and presented everything we belong to them. That is the worst thing happening. They take everything, appropriate, misappropriate. They give their own names. Chak Yoga, Chik Yoga, Chak Yoga, Jak. All the names. Finally, the extreme violence is claiming it has nothing to do with Hinduism and India. Please understand, this book is the need of the hour to assert we are happy to give this gift to the world, but it is rooted in Hinduism and India. So the statement I want to make through this book is yoga has religion, it is Hinduism.
Ja, jeg trenger vel ikke å spille av noe mer for at du skal skjønne at yoga har røtter, og det er hinduisme. Klarere kan du vel ikke høre det. Dette er fra en guru som heter Nityananda. Og han er en som overfører shaktipat til folket, og en som folket tilber. Og det er også mange vestlige som reiser til han her Nityananda for å lære yoga og for å bli hinduer. Men jeg synes det er faktisk sånn som de sier det, hinduene selv. Jeg respekterer mye mer deres ærlighet. Altså de er faktisk stolt av hinduismen, de er stolt av sin religion, og de er ærlige med at det ikke er noe som heter kristen yoga, fordi fordi yoga er hinduisme. Det kommer ifra hinduistiske røtter. Det har hinduistiske røtter. Og jeg respekterer hinduene, for de er klare og tydelige. De er klare og tydelige på sin religion. De prøver ikke å lure folk og si at hinduisme er kristendom, så du kan bare komme hit som en kristen og sånn og sånn. Det er ikke de som prøver å lure folk. De som er ordentlige hinduer, de prøver ikke å lure folk. Og jeg har jo snakket om før at sånne som ikke er klare og tydelige på sin religion, de driver med en kult. De driver med en sekt. Det er sånne som lurer folk. De sier ikke klart ut hva de tror på. Mens de her kristne som prøver å lure andre kristne og sier at yoga det kan vi kalle for kristen yoga. Vi kan kalle det, vi kan bare drive med det her og vi kan meditere og sånt, og så likevel være kristen. De har skjulte ting, altså de er sekterisk rett og slett, for de lurer folk inn i hinduisme. Jeg respekterer mye mer hinduer som står frem og sier klart og tydelig hva de tror på. Og de sier ifra om at yoga er ikke kristen. Det går ikke an å kalle det for andre ting, for det har sine røtter i hinduismen. Dette er et ledd i sammenblanding av religioner. Jeg skjønner ikke at folk absolutt vil blande sammen kristendom med hinduisme. Men det har nok begynt før også, men han her Thomas Merton, som du ser på bildet her, han var jo en katolikk som studerte buddhisme og hinduisme. Og han lagde en egen teologi ut av det, som han her Roy Goodwin har studert på sitt retreat-senter. Og han har mange møter i Norge, hvor han skal fortelle folk hvordan man kan oppnå å møte Gud gjennom meditasjon på den måten her, som da en hinduistisk meditasjon. Og her er en katolikk som påstår at han har blitt en bedre katolikk ved å være hindu. Det går ikke an å bli en bedre katolikk ved å være hindu. Hvis du er en hindu, så har du en annen religion, du har en annen Gud. Du har andre guder. Du er en avgudsdyrker. Så det går ikke an å være en kristen, men altså jeg forstår jo at de som er katolikker kanskje lettere kan gå over til hinduismen, for katolikkene de har så mange avguder fra før. De tilber jo døde helgener, og de har ikoner, og de har så mye vranglære fra før, så jeg har sett flere vitnesbyrd fra katolikker som sier at At de har gått over til hinduismen. Men det tror jeg har sammenheng med at de tilbyr så mange avguder innenfor katolisismen fra før. Så det er kanskje lettere for katolikker å gå over til det her. Men at kristne, evangeliske kristne, så lett lar seg lure av katolikkene, som sier at det går helt greit. Det er noe å tenke på, altså. Folk må våkne opp og begynne å granske. I stedet for å bare godta alle som kommer og sier, ja, nå skal vi gjøre det på en annen måte. Nå skal vi ikke rope når vi ber. Nå skal vi sitte i stillhet og meditere. Og så skal de meditere og si et ord og sånn sentreringsbønn og så videre. Sånn som hinduene gjør. Når de gjør det på den måten, så åpner de seg opp for demoner. Og den stillheten, den kan de oppnå gjennom meditasjon innen hinduismen, på samme måte som de her såkalte kristne munkene gjør det. Så jeg skal spille av litt av denne filmen, så lenge jeg har tid, ifra Carol Matriciana. Carol Matriciana, hun vokste opp i India. Og hun ble en kristen. Hun var først en katolikk, og så ble hun en kristen. Så du skal få høre litt av hennes video, og det er mulig jeg lager en video til og spille hele, for jeg tror ikke jeg har nok tid til å spille hele her nå.
Celebrating more than 20 years in the field of video communications, Jeremiah Films continues to lead the way as an effective creator of hard-hitting, life-changing motion pictures. Through its high standards of excellence, Jeremiah Films has impacted the world with its production and distribution of intelligent, innovative, and thought-provoking films, videos, books, and music. With its in-depth analysis of ancient and modern world religions, Jeremiah Films is at the forefront of providing authoritative, biblically based insight into a myriad of ever-expanding new religious movements. In addition to its meticulous research, Jeremiah Films has been the first to exclusively capture a number of secret religious rites and rituals on camera. These groundbreaking documentaries, filmed all over the world, feature leading experts whose skilled examinations provide a clear understanding into the often confusing and conflicting faiths which abound. We at Jeremiah Films invite you to join with us as we continue to educate and equip those who desire to know the truth concerning the many challenges facing our world. For a complete list of products, including new releases, visit our website at www.jeremiahfilms.com or write us at P.O. Box 1710, Hemet, California, 92546. To place an order, you can email us.
Jeg kommer til å legge link til den filmen under min film. Det er mulig jeg kan få spilt hele av, for jeg fikk satt på strømmen her nå.
Or call toll-free 1-800-828-2299.
Jeg setter link til alle filmene og alt materialet jeg har brukt i min video. Det setter jeg under min video.
0.
India, land of mystery, is the 7th largest landmass and 2nd most populated nation in the world. It is rich in resources and manpower, yet its people are among the poorest and most suffering on earth. Millions of Indians suffer from malnutrition, disease, and poverty. The people are apathetic because their religion has taught them to be detached observers, disregarding the agonizing lifestyle which imprisons them. V.S. Naipaul, himself an Indian, describes India as a wounded civilization paralyzed by her religious beliefs. This complex and contradictory religion, known as Hinduism, promotes the worship of enlightened god-men called gurus. And countless idols. It deifies both nature and femaleness, and believes Mother Goddess to be the original deity. She is worshipped in many forms, as Mother India, venerated in the shape of her map, as Mother Earth, reverenced in the cow, whose urine is even seen as sacred, in Goddess Kali, the goddess of death and destruction, who demands to be pacified with blood sacrifices, and in Holy Mother Ganges, the largest river in India. This river is worshipped by millions who flock to her banks to perform daily toiletries and annually dump hundreds of thousands of dead bodies to assure them of a better reincarnation. Its pollution does not dampen the spiritual fervor of the people who believe its waters to be essential for all religious ceremonies and imbued with magical and healing powers. Incredibly, the West is today looking to Hinduism's superstitions for hope. The religion that has all but destroyed India has now infiltrated every area of Western society. Protesting that it is not religious but scientific, it is transforming our minds, science, medicine, mass media, politics, and the church. Hinduism is most seductive when it wears the mask of Christian terminology, and has shockingly managed to disguise itself as the latest Christian thought. Hundreds of thousands of Western pilgrims have journeyed to India seeking enlightenment, and have disappeared by the hundreds. All too often they are destroyed by the madness and perversion of the very gurus they have worshipped and looked to for salvation. Today, hundreds of these professing God-men are invading the West. Is there any need for alarm? Or should we continue to welcome these gods of the New Age? Here in Delhi, India, Guru Darshan Singh, only one of hundreds of gurus, has personally converted or initiated some 15,000 followers. He explains that it is the job of the guru to groom his disciples into the shortest path to salvation.
Salvation is the same, but we have various paths leading to it. Some of the paths are long paths, other paths are the short paths.
Why is a master then necessary?
Master is necessary, to groom you into the shortest path.
Descended from a long line of Hindu spiritual masters, Rabindranath Maharaj is a former guru and accomplished yogi who was worshipped by thousands.
The Hindu needed to be near his guru. The Hindu needed to consult his guru. He eventually saw his guru as the only means to salvation.
It is absolutely extraordinary also to look at disciples of some of these gurus that I saw in India, for example. These adoring, huge, open eyes that just will accept anything from him and that just love him beyond anything.
I loved Maharishi. I worshipped him. Therefore, everything he said or did or thought was perfectly right in my eyes.
I just met Bhagwan and there it was. It's nobody else than him.
Bhagwan is my master and I love him. I'm in love with him. That's the only thing I can say.
Guru Bhagwan Rajneesh, given refuge by the American government after fleeing his native India, has purchased a 100-square-mile ranch in central Oregon, to which his red-clad disciples flock from all over the world. Whose astonishing title literally means highest spiritual teacher, Lord of the universe, Honorable Sir, and King. Carol Matriciana is a journalist and author of the book Gods of the New Age. Born and raised in India, she moved to London in 1973, where she became one of England's leading authorities on new religious movements.
Prior to Rajneesh's death and the closure of his commune in Oregon, I had the unique experience of spending some time there. Rajneesh would come out twice a day in one of his 96 Rolls Royces and literally be worshipped by his thousands of Western devotees. It was so sad to see their complete devotion to a mere man who considered himself to be God. Part of his required allegiance demanded that his followers always wear orange, India's holy color, and a portrait of their master around their necks.
His spokeswoman and right-hand lady, Sheila Silverman, tries to explain the attraction and magnetism of her master.
He is something that is so... I have no words. It is a love relationship. Master and disciple. Something happens in your heart when you see a master.
Bhagwan's my master.
Here at the Kumbh Mela Festival, or Aquarian Fair, in Allahabad, India, 20 million Hindus gather to witness an endless procession of hundreds of these self-proclaimed God-men. Even the dirt beneath these gurus' feet is an aid to the disciple in his quest for salvation. This footage was covertly photographed and smuggled out of India. Naked priests are considered to be the holiest and most dedicated of guru disciples. Many cover their bodies with cremation ashes and dirt and mat cow dung into their hair. Some are armed and are dependent upon extremely potent drug concoctions. They have surrendered everything, families, possessions, and even their minds, becoming literally insane out of devotion to their guru.
Well, Guru is our best friend, philosopher, and guide, and he shows the way to God. So, we in our India acknowledge him as a divine power, just equivalent to God.
If anyone could be near the beloved Master and witness the love, the compassion, the humility, the grace, the generosity, no one in his right mind would not know that this is a walking, talking, living God on earth.
In all scriptures you will find that the Master is the God-incarnated power working on earth.
You people that interviewed this gentleman today, I don't think you knew who you interviewed, but you interviewed God.
For the Hindu, the Guru is all-important. The Guru is his Lord, his Master, his Savior, even greater than God.
Yes, Guru is greater than God.
I have personally talked with many gurus, and the sad fact is that within their belief system, They have to be detached and removed from their emotions and compassion, and their cruelty and inhumaneness is seen as spiritual and excused as holy.
I was really interested in their worship and their veneration and their adoration and the gifts and offerings they brought to me. But I was certainly not interested in their problems and their difficulties and hardships and pains.
The Guru followers believe that he returns this incredible love that they feel towards him, but in reality, he feeds off their emotions to maintain his own ego.
So many people come here because they too are in love with Bhagwan. They too are seeking the wisdom, the love that Bhagwan has to offer.
He has so much love, and he gives his love to everybody, and it helps us to find our love in ourselves.
The followers of Jim Jones, leader of the People's Temple, were convinced that their relationship was built on love. And nearly 1,000 of his devoted disciples committed suicide at his command. It was their final gift of total surrender to the leader they loved. Their lives cut short by a madman claiming to be God, the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Guru Sai Baba is one of India's most powerful men with millions of Indian disciples and a growing Western following. He says of himself, "I am God. My power is divine and has no limit. There is no force, natural or supernatural, that can stop me or my mission." Prabhu Guptara, born and raised in India, is currently a journalist and media commentator in London.
Gurus are going to the West because of two reasons. First, of course, they want to convert people. They want them to become followers of their own religion, in some cases themselves. And secondly, because they feel they have something to offer. What these gurus have to offer is a family, a community to belong to, which they don't have.
Thousands of seekers, most of them from broken or unstable families, and already emotionally wounded, are becoming victims of the gurus. Dr. Oz Guinness, an Oxford scholar and noted world lecturer, is author of the bestseller, Dust of Death.
One of the deepest longings in the modern world is for a sense of meaning and belonging, sense in their lives and sort of stability in their worlds. And people, having not found that in the West, are hungry for it. And reacting against the West, they're backing into the arms of the East without looking at it straight.
Ed Senesi is a former member of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness, known as the Hare Krishna movement. For 3 years, he was editor-in-chief of their magazine, Back to Godhead.
The attitude toward the family in the Hare Krishna movement is very unfortunate. The family is seen more or less as a necessary evil.
Eckhard Floater, a successful German journalist, became a devoted disciple of Rajneesh in 1979 and spent several months with him in India.
Rajneesh clearly says that the family, that marriage, that all these traditional family bonds are rotten. The only relationship that counts is between his disciples and him.
Kathy, devoted disciple of Maharishi Mahesh Yogi for 15 years, was a teacher and governor of Transcendental Meditation, known as TM.
I thought TM was strengthening my family, but it was really weakening it, because I was turning all my attention in on myself.
If you have an allegiance to your wife or your children, to the extent that you have that dedication to those people, you are less dedicated to the organization.
I either had to become a member so I could go with him, or he was going to divorce me because he was not supposed to have any outside attachments. He said it wasn't that he didn't love me anymore, and in fact he still loved me very much. It's just that I was only human, and Bhagwan was superhuman, and therefore he was more deserving of my husband's love than I was.
How many of these people loved their neighbor, their family, in this totally giving way?
Alexandra Schmidt is one of France's leading experts on new religious movements.
How many have been so blind to all the negative aspects of a person they loved as to that of the Guru?
Ellen is a spokeswoman for the Brahma Kumaris Raja Yoga organization, which is completely administered by women who control 800 centers in 40 countries.
Our organization has the practice amongst all the participants of celibacy
whether in individuals or married couples.
I found myself being attracted to my wife, but I couldn't, because as soon as I felt attracted to her emotionally, physically, then it was difficult for me to maintain my celibacy. So the way I resolved that was to turn her into an object of dislike or hate.
We have living proof of thousands of couples who are living in this way and are finding much greater harmony and pure love as opposed to limited physical love.
Over 90% of the marriages in the Krishna movement end in divorce.
Rather than using our energy in raising a family and being involved in many physical relationships, we're focusing that energy on spirituality.
You see, what's so diabolical about all this is that it masquerades as spirituality.
In some schools of thought, to be spiritual, celibacy is encouraged, and yet in others, sexual perversion is practiced, not only among the gurus themselves, but by their disciples, including young children. Contradictions are also seen in the attitude towards women, who, on the spiritual level, are the focus of worship. Their femaleness is seen as the created power of God. For instance, to be initiated by a female yogini is considered much holier than initiation by a male. And yet, on a day-to-day level, women are considered lower than men and treated as less than human. In the religious communities in India, which are known as ashrams, there is absolutely no place for children. And here in the West, the gurus generally don't want the burden and responsibility of children because it distracts the parents from devotion to him and his cause.
They have a school system whereby they force the children at age 5 to live in the ashram.
A lot of the kids did think it was like a prison. They didn't get to go anywhere but the ranch. And while we were at school, it's really just a place for the kids to go to get out of the grown-ups' way.
And they separate them from the mother and father, which is very unfortunate and very destructive.
Well, the kids would want to see their mom and dad, you know, just to be with them as a family. The kids wouldn't even know where their parents were, and they'd have to go look for them. And when they did, parents were usually too busy to talk to them. And so the kids were mainly by themselves and unsupervised.
The most heartbreaking result of the guru invasion to the West is the damage and harm it brings to the children, those who have no other choice than to live in the ashram because their parents have chosen to follow the guru. Separated from parents and cut off from outside relatives, they become community property. They lose their individuality and identity and are alienated from society.
Pastor Friedrich Huck has written over 30 books on various cults and is Germany's leading expert on new religious movements.
Children brought up in a cult are only educated to follow the commands of their leaders. They never experienced freedom. They never experienced a responsible life where they could have their own choice, where they could follow their will.
I've had these children taken them to parks, and they've seen normal people, and they'd recoil in fear from them because they don't look like devotees. The men don't have shaven heads or robes.
I didn't want to leave the ranch. I'd rather stay there because I was scared of the people outside of it. Because, I don't know, you just got a feeling down there, so you were worked into staying there.
Now, why would an organization want to disrupt families like that? My own understanding in the cult dynamic is that it's a principle of control, divide and conquer.
According to the Guru Gita, one of Hinduism's most important scriptures, the follower must not only adore and worship the Guru as God, but surrender himself and all his possessions as well.
Most of the gurus that I know of in the West are super rich. Gurus are more interested in white disciples than in Indian disciples, largely because they get more money from the whites.
Rob, former transcendental meditator for 13 years, was a TM governor and in charge of teacher training at Maharishi International University.
The TM movement is very wealthy. They have land holdings all over the world. They have beautiful hotels in Switzerland. They have university campuses in the Midwest. They have academies on the East Coast, the West Coast.
Here he was getting served on silver plates 6 times a day, sleeping on a very soft bed, riding around in a Mercedes. But supposedly he was so renounced that he wasn't attached to these things, so that gave him a right to enjoy them.
Maharishi made a statement that says, when the money comes to me, he says it's transcendental.
Money is our last priority. Everything else is our first priority.
Hundreds of gurus have grown incredibly rich in the West through tax-exempt donations, and the manufacture and distribution of every kind of memorabilia honoring these self-proclaimed God-men. They have acquired vast land holdings, armed bodyguards, and outrageous luxuries, from posh hotels to their own fleets of planes, helicopters, and, as in Rajneesh's case, Rolls-Royces.
Why not Rolls-Royces? Why have anything less? This country is a capitalist country, and anything that produces or helps capitalism, why not? Anybody who says, why have Rolls-Royce? I say, you're a communist.
The guru's hypocrisy is diabolical. Criticizing the materialism and commercialism in the West and convincing their followers that non-materialism will get them up the spiritual ladder, these gods of the New Age are laughing all the way to the bank. I know of groups involved in drug trafficking, smuggling, prostitution, and the buying and selling of weapons, all done to earn money for the guru.
I know of a variety of female disciples who were prostitutes in